fluorescent lights hummed. My eyes ached. Another 9 a.m. meeting stretched endlessly. My brain felt like a clogged drain. Ideas wouldn't flow. Words tangled on my tongue. Everyone else chirped with morning energy. Their enthusiasm felt like a physical assault. My body slumped in the chair. My mind screamed for quiet. This wasn't just a bad morning. It was every morning. Wow, I envied their crisp focus. I longed for their morning clarity. Then midnight would arrive. The world outside fell silent. My laptop screen glowed. Suddenly, my thoughts ignited. Clarity descended like a cool bomb. My fingers flew across the keyboard. Complex problems unraveled. Creativity surged through me. My best work always happened then. It was a secret life, a hidden power. But daytime always came. With it, the crushing exhaustion. What was wrong with me? Why did I function so differently? What I discovered changed everything. I was 8 years old. My mother tucked me into bed. "Sleep tight, sweetie," she'd whisper. But sleep wouldn't come. My mind buzzed with questions. Ideas for stories filled my head. I'd lie awake for hours. Sometimes I'd sneak out. I'd find my flashlight. I'd read under my covers. The glow felt illicit. It felt magical. Dawn would often break. My eyes would burn. School mornings were a haze. My teacher would call on me. My answers would be slow. "Are you paying attention, Alex?" she'd ask. Shame would burn my cheeks. My classmates seemed so bright. They popped up with answers. I felt dull and sleepy. My parents tried everything. Early bedtimes were enforced. "You need your rest," Dad would say. "You'll be tired tomorrow." But rest felt impossible. The quiet darkness called. It beckoned me to create. It whispered secrets. The daytime stole my energy. The night gave it back. I thought I was broken. I thought I was alone. High school brought more pressure. Early classes were agonizing. Algebra at 7:30 a.m. My brain refused to engage. I'd doodle in my notebook. My thoughts drifted to yesterday's debate or tomorrow's art project. My grades suffered in the mornings. Teachers marked me down. Lack of participation, they wrote. Afternoons improved slightly. But evenings were my peak. That's when I'd come alive. I'd start my homework at 9 p.m. Often I wouldn't finish until 2 a.m. My friends called me flaky. "Want to grab breakfast before school?" They'd ask. I always said no. I needed those extra minutes of sleep. They couldn't understand. "Just go to bed earlier." It wasn't that simple. My body refused. My mind rebelled. College was a cycle of shame. I scheduled late classes. This helped immensely. But group projects were a nightmare. "Let's meet at 8 a.m., someone would suggest. My stomach would churn. I'd show up groggy. I'd contribute very little. I felt like a burden. I drank endless coffee. The caffeine made me jittery. It didn't make me alert. My productivity slumped. I started isolating myself. It was easier than explaining. It was easier than feeling judged. I worked alone in the library. I'd arrive after midnight. The silent halls felt vast. My concentration sharpened. Ideas flowed freely. I wrote my best essays then. I coded complex algorithms. But I paid a price. My social life dwindled. I felt like an outsider. My internal clock felt wrong. The world was built for early risers. I felt like a square peg. I was trying to fit a round hole. Last July, everything imploded. I was working on a huge project. A major client presentation loomed. My boss expected miracles. He expected them by 9 a.m. I'd pulled an all-nighter. I'd worked until 4 a.m. But I still felt behind. I dragged myself to the office. My mind was a fog. Every task felt impossible. I stared at my screen. My vision blurred. My head throbbed. Then the phone rang. It was my boss. "Alex, where is that report?" he asked. "Is it 2 a.m. I found it." My fingers trembled slightly. The terms jumped out at me. Chronotypes. Eveningness. Delayed sleep phase. It wasn't a moral failing. It wasn't a lack of effort. It was biology. I devoured articles. I found Dr. Till Roenberg's work. His research on human chronotypes was groundbreaking. He studied our internal body clocks. He explained the genetic basis. Suddenly, my life made sense. I wasn't just tired. I was a night owl. My circadian rhythm was delayed. My body simply preferred later hours. I then stumbled upon Dr. Elaine Aron. Her work on highly sensitive persons resonated deeply. And Susan Cain's insights on introversion. While not directly about chronotypes, they highlighted a preference for quiet, less overstimulation. The nighttime environment offered just that. The world quieted down. The constant demands faded. My brain could finally breathe. It wasn't just about sleep patterns. It was about optimal operating conditions. My amygdala, the brain's alarm center, quieted down at night. During the day, it was constantly on edge. Cortisol, the stress hormone, peaked later for me. It naturally prepared my body for wakefulness. But at night, its levels dropped. This allowed for deeper focus. My prefrontal cortex, responsible for planning and decision-making, became fully active. It wasn't fighting the noise. It wasn't battling fatigue. Dopamine, the reward chemical, was more readily available then. This fueled my motivation. It powered my creativity. A 2021 study from UC Berkeley solidified it. They found evening chronotypes often excelled. They showed enhanced creative problem. 20% of the population are true night owls. This wasn't some rare anomaly. It was a recognized, natural variation. I wasn't broken. I was just different. My brain was wired to thrive when the world slept. It was wired for the quiet. It was wired for the dark. This wasn't a weakness. It was a strength. My realization was profound. Suddenly, every memory made sense. My childhood struggles with early mornings. The shame I felt in school, my inability to focus in bright classrooms. It wasn't my fault. My biological clock was simply out of sync. My brain wasn't lazy. It was waiting for its optimal window. The bursts of creativity after midnight. These weren't just random occurrences. They were my body's natural rhythm, my true peak performance. The guilt about sleeping in vanished. The frustration with my slow mornings faded. I wasn't resisting effort. I was resisting my own biology. The constant striving to be a morning person had been a war against myself. I remembered forcing myself to wake at 6 a.m. The crushing fatigue, the unproductive hours. It was like trying to run a marathon on empty. Now I understood. I wasn't broken. I was just operating on a different clock. My internal timepiece was valid. It deserved respect. I wasn't alone. Others shared this rhythm. This understanding brought immense relief. It brought a deep sense of peace. I made a decision. I would stop fighting myself. My current job was not sustainable. It's 95, I found a new role, a project management position. It offered complete flexibility. I now start my day around noon. My most demanding tasks begin after 8 p.m. My colleagues are mostly in different time zones. This works perfectly. I've set clear boundaries. My mornings are for gentle wakefulness. They are for exercise. They are for quiet reflection. My evenings are for deep work. My creativity is soaring. My stress levels have plummeted. My friends initially raised eyebrows. "You still working at 1 a.m.?" they'd ask, but they saw my transformation, my renewed energy, my genuine happiness. I've even found a community. Other night owls online. We share strategies. We celebrate our unique rhythms. My current life feels authentic. It feels aligned. I am thriving. I am no longer ashamed. I embrace my nocturnal nature. I harness its power. If you're reading this and your mornings feel like a slog, if your best ideas strike when the stars are out, if you've been told you're lazy or undisciplined, know this: you are not alone. You are not broken. You are not a failure. You might just be an evening chronotype. Your brain is wired differently. Your internal clock runs on its own schedule. It's a beautiful, powerful thing. Give yourself permission. Permission to honor your body. Permission to explore your true peak hours. Permission to design a life that fits your biology. The world needs all kinds of minds. It needs the quiet brilliance of the night. Embrace your rhythm. Find your tribe. Unleash your nocturnal potential. The quiet hours hold a unique magic. They hold your greatest strength.